Hey everyone. Hi. It's me, Elna from twinsmommy.com. And today I want to share with you how to have a successful blog for the brand new year. All right. So there are 10 steps that can help you as a brand new blogger how to have this successful blog. Now, when you think of being a successful person and having a successful blog, I mean a blog that has a way to gain income and traffic and a tribe and just a really good way so that you can make consistent money. So I have these steps and to help brand new bloggers. Now, if you're here, say hi. If you're catching the replay, say hi. I want to see who my peeps are. I hope you had a great Halloween last night. My twins had a blast. I think this is the first year that they really sort of got what this was all about. We had like overflow bags. I mean, it was the whole shebang thing. And so my twins they wanted to be out all night. Yeah, they went to bed like at 8:30 or 9. So that was quite late. And then they had to go to school this morning. I think my daughter is getting sick though. So we'll see about tomorrow. But anyways, I hope you guys had a fun night last night. If you had little ones, hey everyone. Okay, so let's get started. Let's talk about the 10 steps to have a successful blog. Now say that 10 times fast. And if you have any questions about blogging in general, just pop them in. I'm seeing some highs. Hey Sarah. Hey Jennifer. I'm glad you're here. All right. Let's get to it. Now, these steps are just my personal knowledge of what I feel like new bloggers should have in place to have a successful blog like down the road. Now, not every blog that you start or that you have will be successful. I do own several different blogs, but not all of them are making money. And matter of fact, I'm not paying attention to a lot of them as well. So hint, one of the things to have a successful blog is to actually, pay attention to that blog and give it love and nurture. But anyways, so the first step, I think for any new blogger is to understand blogging terms. I don't know about you, but when I first started this whole world of like reading blogs and like understanding everything, I had no idea what people were doing. I would always look at like one biggest thing that I was stuck on was commenting. I would see all these comments with the beautiful little pictures of them on their comment, when they have their little, I don't know, avatar. And so then I would like, oh, I can comment and then it'll show my picture, because of course I have a Facebook page and why not? Like I was so clueless. And so whenever I would comment, I wouldn't have my face there. And I was like, I had no idea. Like, how do you even get a face when you comment? Like, these things were so new to me. I wasn't even on Twitter. I wasn't even on all these social media platforms. I had a personal Facebook page or Facebook profile. I was just really new. So I feel like, as a new blogger, you have to sort of learn all these blogging terms. Social media marketing, Pinterest marketing, Gravatar, what that Gravatar is, ESPs like email service providers and digital marketing and all these terms that I think over time you'll learn. I always suggest for new bloggers, spend that first initial month reading other blogs and reading about blogging to know what this is all about, your content management system and WordPress and things like that. Like, what are those things? I can break it down for you if you need help. So just post them in. But for me, it was knowing what a Gravatar was, and then understanding the tech behind all of the blogging. Like, how do you start the blog? How do you write the post? How does it show online? Things like that. I was having to learn. And that's okay for every new blogger that's out there. I mean, spend that time, that educational time to learn how to blog. The second step to having a successful blog is picking that right profitable niche. I recently wrote a blog post about that. Let me just go to it real quick. If you haven't seen it, it's this post called How to Turn Any Blog Niche into a Profitable Blog Niche. And I honestly feel that you can turn any niche into a profitable niche, but there's going to be some niches that you have to work really hard and other niches that you don't have to work as hard. So, something like if you want to have an entire blog about, I don't know, your rock garden and your little garden gnomes. I mean, you have to really work hard at finding the problems people are having about, garden, rock building and garden decor and things like that to really hone in on that problem and to make it profitable, right? Versus there are niches out there that are popular and profitable to begin with. So something like the health niche has the potential to make lots of money. It's just finding those blocks to put together on your blog so that your blog is making money as well. All right. So there are ways to do that, to turn that around. And in this blog post, I do share with you finding that right niche and then turning that niche into a profitable niche. And so make sure to go read this post if you need help with that. All right. Hi, everyone. So yeah, having that niche. And, it's okay. It's okay if you don't decide to keep that niche over the long run. You can pivot. I would suggest, though, to do that in the first year. Let me just... I wouldn't completely change after a year. I think by that time, if you've worked at it and you've built an email list and you've built a following, then it's going to be hard to completely revamp. Although I know there are some bloggers that have done that. And one big one that I'm thinking of right now is Krista from Blog Beautifully. Now, I followed Krista from Blog Beautifully for a while. And when she had her Pinterest course, and then she had some other things about being a profitable blogger. And her blog was all about blogging and email marketing and things like that. And I don't know when she switched over, but she switched over into something a bit more, I'm not quite sure what it's called, but like energy, like living with like the energy and meditation and things like that. And she moved completely new URL, completely new brand, completely new identity. And it is possible. I mean, I feel like it's just a bit harder. She has to work at it a little bit harder now, gaining a new audience, because maybe people from her Blog Beautifully audience haven't followed her, although I have. So that's just something to consider. So for example, if I built my blog Twins Mommy about blogging, and then all of a sudden, you know what? I want to just talk about being a mom to twins and having all this mom content. I feel I'm going to lose a good chunk of my audience because they come to my blog to learn about how to make money blogging and blogging tips, not about how to be a mom to twins, right? I'm cutting everyone out and only going to focus on the twin mommy population, which is a great population. But I feel that would be a disservice. So think about that. If you're thinking of a completely new idea, I would just start a brand new blog. Like, honestly, it's a lot easier to build your blog up the second time around. And it's even easier the third time around and the fourth time around. So I would actually, if you want to get better and better at blogging, start new blogs and you'll get better for sure. That's what's happening to me. So, all right. So I'm just making sure I have all my notes here. All right. The third step to having a successful blog is figuring out that blogging voice. Now, mamas, this can take a whole year of blogging consistently to figure out what your blogging voice is. And I encourage you to really figure that out as you're writing your blog posts and to identify with your audience for that blogging voice. When I first started blogging, I was reading content and reading emails from these other bloggers, from Melissa Griffin, from Ashley, from Wonderlass. Ashley, is that her name? Ashley? It's been a while. I've stopped actually reading their blog content. But in the beginning, I was following all these like young women entrepreneurs, Mariah Cause and things like that. And I was reading their content and And they have a great, unique voice, each one of them. But I found that I was like mimicking them on my blog content. I was being overly bubbly and overly because I was reading so much of their content that it was spilling over onto me. And I had to catch myself and say, you know what? This is not truly my blogging voice. I had to keep blogging to realize that. And over time, I figured out my own quirks of writing and my own way of writing my blog posts. And it shows in the comments that I get from people. A lot of them say that they love the writing style that I have. So developing that voice. And one thing to remember is your audience. On my other blog, freelance writing blog, I write a little bit different. I'm not as, not conversational, but I'm not as like, I don't know, relaxed and joking and using slang on that blog. Because I know the audience, well, a lot of them are men, but I know that audience, they're looking at me as sort of this teacher, this credible person. And so I want to provide that type of content that's, not dry, but at least, isn't all fun and frilly, that has a little bit more meat to it, and that I really show them step by step how to do certain things, and they're learning from my blog. Because that's the audience that I'm writing to. Whereas on Twins Mommy, I can be a little bit funny. I can be a little bit jokey. I can use slang, and that's okay, right? So look at your audience and see how that fits with your personality and your writing style. Because that's a big help. And I feel like almost having that conversation on your blog opens up a bigger audience, and you can relate to people. I read a lot of mom blogs, and a lot of them are awesome. And each one has a different writing style. So figuring that out and seeing what gains that attraction for your readers to you. All right. Step number 4 is having content that can help. This is like the number one way to turn a hobby blog into a business blog. Is as soon as you can flip that content around from you to your audience, that is the door to opening. That is the door that will open you to making more, like making an income from your blog. People come on blogs. Most people come on blogs not to really learn about you, but to learn about what you know. And if you can teach them and help them that way, then you're going to gain a readership. But that's not to say that you can't write content about you. I've done that on Twins Mommy. My blog is about twins, so I do have content on this site that talks about it. But I really work hard at trying to help others in the same situation as me. So, one of the biggest things that I was having a huge struggle with was the kindergarten drop-off. I mean, I would come home defeated and crying because I had to leave my twins, and they were clawing me as the teachers were ripping them away from me to go to school. And it was such a hard thing for me. And I worked on it and tried so many different tactics, and eventually it ironed out. So I wanted to share that story on my blog, but I also wanted to help other moms. So I made sure, at least in my title, to identify with that target audience. But then in the post, I told my story here, and I go into my story and I talk about what I did. And I sort of structured it in a way to help other moms, to make it easier for them. So having like the headlines to show them, I read books. I had a gradual entry procedure. And then I go back into my story and then I give them more tips. What ended up working here. So then I go back into my story and then tell them what I did that actually worked. And so I'm hoping that this post would resonate. I don't have many comments on here. I only have a few comments here, but I'm hoping that it would resonate with people that have this issue with kindergarten drop-off. All right. So you can have that content, and you can even monetize this content. If I had the certain books, certain toys, certain videos, I could monetize this blog with what worked, what ended up working with those. And I do talk about a book that I read, The Explosive Child here. I read that book because I was having issues, even though this is a book for behavioral children. I mean, I could still apply some of this to my children, and I even go through it. I could link to that. So I can monetize this post if I wanted to, even though it's a personal post about my own situation. I was able to help others, hopefully, by providing these resources. All right. So think about that in your content when you're trying to write your blog post, and it might primarily be about your journey as a mom with little ones, and you're writing about, or your son has ADHD, and you're writing about your day with your son. Flip that around to help other moms that have a child with ADHD. What are the things that you're using for your child that could help another child? Or maybe you're a homeschool mom and you're having challenges with whatever, with your homeschool child, your child with homeschooling. You can write a blog post about the tactics that you use to help, with the transition to homeschool or whatever that challenge is. All right. So that I feel like is the key, really the number one thing to have that successful blog on the long run. All right. So that was number 4. Number 5 to having a successful blog is, I'm just thinking how to word this because it doesn't have to fit into a successful blog, but it makes it a lot easier, let's just say, is to gain a tribe and grow your traffic. So having that tribe to grow your traffic. I feel like it is so much easier when you can identify with your target audience and build that loyal following. You can gain traffic a lot quicker than if you just sort of have a blog with not a lot of personalization to it. And a good example of that is my blog, Smart Mom Ideas. I'm becoming more open, but in the first year, I was not very open on the blog content. I was just writing, list posts and how-to posts on that site. It's only recently that I started dipping into my own personal journey of having twins, my personal journey of breastfeeding twins, and my personal journey on that. And I'm finding once I made that transition that my traffic really grew. It was from, I think I started around 30,000 page views, and now it's up to 60 or 70 now. And that's within this year. So having that tribe really does help, and it makes your traffic grow quicker. And so it's having that loyal following. And there are many ways you can have a loyal following. An email list is your number one way. And then having your Facebook page and doing like Facebook Lives here so you can get to know your followers. So hi, everyone that's here. Thank you so much for joining me today. All right. So number 6 to having a successful blog is having that content that helps, but also having that content that people will actually read. There is such a thing as having popular blog topics. All right. Right. And you can base it on seasonal blog posts or posts that people want to read. So you can add seasonal content to your blog to ensure some readership for that month. So, I've been on Smart Mom Ideas doing a lot of Halloween content and now Christmas content. So I'm sharing that content to get readers to my blog. So that's one way to have popular blog posts that that you'll gain readers, but it's short-lived, right? It's seasonal. So how can you get that longevity on your blog? One of the biggest things is to use Pinterest and to look at what other bloggers in your niche are doing. Now, I don't want you to steal their ideas, but I want you to get inspiration from them. And I would even venture of using blogs outside of your niche just to get other ideas. I personally now don't go to other blogs about blogging because it's not that I don't want to read their blogs. I do, but I want to develop my own topics and to help my own audience with their struggles. And I'm getting a lot of feedback from you guys of what you're struggling with so that I can create content for you versus looking at other blogs to see what they're blogging about. But I know for a new blogger, this is something that you need to do to start building your platform and building your voice in your tribe. All right, so go ahead and read other blogs in your niche, read other blogs in other niches, and see what are the common themes. I feel like the number one theme might be list posts. People are doing roundups and list guides. You can create content like that for your niche. How-to content is huge. Those are topics that you can write about for your niche. All right, so looking at sort of the skeleton of a blog post, the type of blog post that you can write. Big things are secrets. So having the word secret and having hacks, those are types of blog posts that people want to know. So it's upping the curiosity factor in your blog content and in your headline that will get people to want to read your post, of course. And of course, you need to deliver. So getting that content that people want to read. All right, step number 7 is to start an email list. Now, I don't know where you are in your blogging journey right now, but after a few months of starting a blog, it's a good idea to start your email list. This will be your number one way to get to know your audience and to serve your audience better. So if you need help, I do have a post I'll share in the comments of how to start your email list. All right, step number 8 is to serve your audience. And I was just mentioning that. This is like the overall theme of your blog should always be to serve your audience. You want to gain that loyal readership. So you do that by serving them as best as you can. And some ways to serve your audience is to be as authentic as possible. Try not to hide behind your blog, showing a picture of you, sharing your name, sharing who you were before you blogged, what you did. These are all things to be more authentic to people, to know your story. And that's the way to connect with your audience. So when your audience knows you and likes you and trusts you, they will eventually become ambassadors for you and buy from you as well. So I know for me, the things that I buy in real life, I have some kind of connection to them. I might learn online of a book another mom blogger read or used for their child that helped them with something. Well, then I'm going to be inclined to buy that book for my children because I know that blogger. I've read that blog post that they wrote about. I'm familiar with that blogger. So, and same thing with magazine articles, and you can go big and think about the whole media industry and how they use, celebrities and sports people to promote Gatorade and cereals because it's that whole trust factor. So it's the same here online. You want to build that trust factor with your audience. So you serve them. You're authentic. You can also be more transparent with your blog content. So sharing your traffic and your income, or doing Facebook Lives like this. This is all a little bit more of a personal way and being more transparent. So they get to see the real you, how you talk, things like that, right? All right. Step 9 is to start making money. This is why a lot of people want to start a blog, right? Is to eventually monetize their blog so that they can stay home. This is how I started. Excuse me. Let me just get some water. This is how I started my blog journey. Was I needed to stay home with my twins, and I needed to find a way to contribute to the finances at home. My husband has been working from home for a while now, and I felt like I needed to help out. I didn't want to just stay here and of course be a stay-at-home mom, but I needed to do something. And plus I needed that creativity. I was changing diapers constantly and picking up mess from my twins and, singing Baba Black Sheep. And so I sort of needed that adultness of my life at that time and that creativity. And so that's where blogging fit in perfectly for me, and I could monetize it. So there are different ways to make money. I do have a great blog post about how to make your first affiliate sale. If you haven't checked that out, I will link that to as well. I hope I remember what I need to link. Here it is. I'll just show you briefly. It's how to make your first affiliate sale as a new mom blogger. I give you a video tutorial actually, so check that out. And I'm specifically using Amazon marketing. So there's that blog video and blog post, and I go into a little bit more in the blog post. One thing that I didn't share in the video was about cookies right here. So this is not in the blog video, but in the blog post, talking about the 24-hour cookie and the type of first click cookie link and last click cookie link thing, to understand that concept. So make sure you also read that blog post if you want to know about making your first affiliate sale. Hi, everyone. All right, we're on step number 9. Are you still with me? All right, number 10, you need to hold on to your why. I always have to go back if I'm sort of knee deep into blogging, knee deep into this whole business. I really need to go and step back and understand, why am I doing this? It's not to spend all day in my office. It's not all, to stress over, making a sale. That's not the reason why I started blogging. I started blogging to be able to stay home with my twins and to enjoy the things that I do with my family, to have that flexible lifestyle. So I have to take a step back and make sure that, that's my why. So I'm going to maximize my time as much as possible so that I can spend more time with my family. I can do those road trips. I can do those outings. I can go to their school and participate in their field trips and their dances and their reading program, because I'm able to make a living at home, right? So know your why so that you can achieve that. And that'll give you the motivation to keep going, because blogging is a journey. And I've been there. I've been on down, thinking of, should I continue blogging? This is very hard for me and all that. So there's ups and downs to all of this. So I just want to hold your hand and help you through this. All right. Was that number 10? Oh, that was number 10. So those are the 10 steps to having a successful blog. If you guys have any questions, just pop them in the comments. I'll share those resources with you in the comments. And if you're catching the replay, go ahead and post your questions. I'll answer them throughout the day. All right. Have a good morning, everyone. Bye. Oops. Okay.